Perfect.
Alright, we're going to start. What's going on, guys? For those of you guys who just checked me out on YouTube, I'm J11, this is Guywiththeface13 Eradiate9, and some random.
If only this was funny. Thank you.
We're really just here today to talk about the ban list. A bunch of different cards. A lot of people are just listing 12 cards and saying, "Blammo, that's the ban list." Blammo, in the words of Face.
Blammo. Face and Charles.
I think that it leaves out a lot of things. It leaves out like a lot of cards that could be thought of, because every decision affects another. So we're going to talk about it. Face has a list of cards we're going to read off, and we're going to get this going. So what are some of the cards we're going to look at right now?
Okay. The first card we have to talk about is Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning.
Blackluster.
That is a big deal, kind of.
Real professional.
Real professional. Morph's phone is ringing.
It's nice to go. Hi.
Wow, what an asshole.
Alright, BLS.
Yeah, so,
BLS.
Who wants BLS to come back?
Well,
It's not
Warlock said pick up.
Is it pick up?
No, don't pick up.
Do not pick up.
I guess not.
Yeah. Alright. So yeah, BLS. Does anybody want it to come back?
I don't think it matters what we want, but I don't think it's coming back regardless.
You know they come back?
Yeah.
Alright.
What were we saying last night? Like BLS comes back.
What we said last night was that if you're playing Chaos Sorcerer, you're most likely playing it at 2. And if they bring BLS back, they're going to have to hit Chaos Sorcerer. And if they hit Chaos Sorcerer, it's most likely you're going to be to 1. So essentially, you're just going to trade off a BLS, a Chaos Sorcerer for a BLS. So yay for power creeps.
Yeah. It's
Don't affect them at all.
Instead of having 2 Chaos Sorcerers in your deck, now you'll have 1 Chaos Sorcerer.
And 1 BLS.
And 1 Super Chaos Sorcerer.
And
Super Mega Chicken Chaos Sorcerer.
I'd assume it to be too good to bring it back. It's 3 KB, remove space downs, can attack twice.
Yeah, remove space downs is a huge deal. Like, that's probably one of the biggest things about it.
Yes.
So, general consensus. Do you want to have a general consensus after every card, or
I think we have a problem.
what's the problem?
The microphone's too far away.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's most likely not being touched. So if it does, Yu-Gi-Oh's gonna go to hell. That's really what is going to happen. Next card to talk about is Dark Magician of Chaos.
D-Mock.
Yep, D-Mock. So yeah, D-Mock is probably not on a lot of people's minds because, like, I mean, there's really no hype surrounding it right now as far as the ban list goes, but it is a card to talk about because if we're talking about Blackluster Soldier coming off the ban list, we should talk about D-Mock too. Like, it's only fair.
It is a card.
They're comparable in power. So,
we'll start this way and work our way down.
Yeah, I have so much to talk about, but I think it's too powerful of a card to come back right now. With a lot of heavy hitting spell cards out, I can't see it coming back. And even if it was not as broken, I think Konami would overlook it and it would come back regardless.
D-Mock, somebody on the chat says D-Mock is iffy about it. I mean, if it comes back, they need to hit some powerful
Yeah,
spells.
exactly. Like it can't be here in the same format that Reborn's here.
or premature.
Because if you go even just Foolish, Reborn D-Mock, congrats, Foolish became special D-Mock from deck.
You get your Reborn back, and then you just win with 28 beater.
Yeah, like somebody said Magician of Faith.
No,
We'll get the Magician of Fate.
Oh, I thought he was saying. I thought that.
into the chat like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
he was using it as like...
I thought that's what he thought he was talking about.
No.
No big deal. But no, I don't think it's gonna be coming back. But it's a good card to talk about.
The next card on the list is actually Magician of Fate, so it's I mean, it does the same shit that D-Mock does, so it's got to be talked about if we're talking about D-Mock.
But it's a flip effect, so it's kind of slower, yeah.
Definitely slower, and it's not as beefy So it's, I mean, that's
The only
something to
difference
be
is
considered.
there's the tribute stack for 2.
Yeah, there's, I think there's less abusability with this card than Demok, generally, but like, I don't know. I think it's harder to make a loop with Magician of Faith than it is with Demok, so I think it's safer to bring back.
Well, yeah.
And there's only one Book of Moon right now, so the potential to reuse it is low.
True, but what do you think they're gonna have to do? Like if they bring back Magician of Faith, what are they gonna have to do to pretty much? It's still a very, very, very good card. What are they gonna have to do to, like, you know, even it out?
Honestly, this one, instead, like, as opposed to Demok, there's not much they have to do, because it's not like you can go Foolish Reborn on Magician of Faith. I mean, well, you could, but go ahead, I dare you.
Honestly, the one card that I think could be a major problem combined with it is Dark Hole. Because if you have just Faith on field, you go flip Faith, get Dark Hole the thing, and now you can just go off easy.
Yep.
And I don't find it to be as broken as some of the other alternatives that we've been discussing, but I don't think, regardless, that Konami is going to bring back.
I don't think so either. But it's good.
It's a good card to talk about because it's definitely something that can come back one day.
If we're gonna talk about BLS, we might as well talk about Demok. If we're gonna talk about Demok, might as well talk about Magician of Faith.
And if we're going to talk about Magician of Faith, may as well build Ice Ones. So, into a really important card here. I didn't make the bad pun that you did.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
I know you didn't. This is a real heavy hitter. Okay. Next card on the list is Heavy Storm. Yeah, Heavy Storm. What do you guys feel?
I personally think Heavy Storm can come back, but Heavy Storm has to come back. There has to be.
Oh, wait, did.
I got
We
it.
did not change the power settings.
Okay, that's fine. I think Heavy Storm can come back, but there has to be a lot changed, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I personally think it can come back. I think it might be on the list.
Definitely a contender. Like, probably in the top 3 cards that can come back right now is Heavy Storm.
Yes.
Easily.
I think it will come back, but assuming it does come back, they're going to have to slow down the format a little bit, maybe with Book of Moon, to make it more, like, easier to set 2 back row and pretty much last the turn.
Yeah.
Here's my feeling on Heavy. A discussion on Pojo, somebody put it like this: a format where Heavy Storm is in play is a commit last format, meaning that if you go off second, you've probably won, because you, for whatever reason, you've secured yourself getting game. If you're going first right now, it's just such an overwhelming advantage. If you go, say, Ryo 5 back rows, any stun monster with 5 back rows. And to be honest, it's, in comparison to Giant Trunade, Heavy Storm is a more balanced card, because Heavy Storm can be stopped by things like Stardust and Shooting Star, things that stop destruction. What can stop cards that return cards to your hand that can't stop everything else?
Yeah.
I think you should continue, like, you were mentioning the whole commit last thing.
Oh, right.
Like, compare that to, like, the whole committing first that you have right now. Like,
Right, if you commit first right now, say you go Xian 4 back rows, that's pretty much game if you have the correct back rows. You can't do anything about that. But, I mean, yeah, Xian being so good right now, it also shuts down Heavy right there. But again, you have protection. It would be the same for Giant Trunade, but Heavy Storm, if you don't have something that can stop, if you have something that stops destruction, say you go Kizan in 4 back rows and having Magatama, Trunade's gonna get rid of all those back rows where Heavy will just be stopped.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it like that.
Yeah, like, I think, like, you have more options to get rid of Heavy Storm than you do Trunade, and like you said, it's the, which way you want to commit, like you were saying. What's better, Ryle 4 back rows, like that kind of format, or playing more conservatively and playing, like, I think it's more skill. You have to know what to set and at what time,
Yeah, Heavy Storm being legal definitely adds a lot of strategy to the game. Like, it's definitely, you can't set more than 2 back rows on the first turn. You can't.
No.
It would be foolish to do so. So, Heavy Storm being around definitely changes the way the game is played, and that has to be taken into consideration. Like, you have to picture right now with this meta, would you prefer to see somebody only set 2 back rows, or would you want to be able to have the freedom to set more than 2 yourself? I mean, I know TGs are a big deck right now, so I mean I know they're very reliant on their back row, and they're pretty good, but at the same time you have plants who aren't very reliant on their back row, so they would be like, oh, heavy, all right, sure, bring that back. I wouldn't mind that at all. So and then you have to consider what's big in Japan right now, which is Black Wings, which are a big back row deck.
Ultimate Offering Gadgets.
Ultimate Offering Gadgets, which would hate to see their Ultimate Offering gone. So.
Well, the other thing is, like, I'm actually noticing it coming up in the chat, is we were actually going to get on this was Starlight Road, is another way to get rid of Heavy Storm, and it's going to see a lot of play, but I'm not entirely sure what they're, if they bring back Heavy Storm, I'm not sure if they're going to like do anything to Starlight Road, but I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think it's on the list. Are we just going to start from here on, or
What do you mean?
continue on later?
Starlight Road? We'll talk about it, but it's a good time to talk about it now.
It's a good time to talk about it.
I mean, when Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, and Torrential Tribute are in the same format, it definitely causes Starlight Road to be a power card.
And Mirror Force, for that matter.
And Mirror Force too. Like,
He's a Black Rose as well.
yeah, and like these are all things that will set off Starlight Road and will happen in a typical game. So you have to picture like how powerful Starlight Road will get. I mean, you're gonna have some decks. I mean, just think about how powerful plants will be if they can go summon, do their plant thing, get out of Tengu in a synchro or whatever, and then they set 3 back rows. Call Haunted, Limit Reverse, and Starlight Road, or Solemn Warning, Limit Reverse, Starlight Road, and that's so good. They have multiple monsters on field. They have multiple back row, but you can't Dark Hole and you can't Heavy Storm, because if they get off Starlight Road, they win. If you give a plant player an extra Stardust Dragon for free, they're the winner. It's over. They did it.
Hey, I have more.
They did it. Like that's all it would take. So it would be a huge problem with Tengu plants especially.
With that in mind, do you guys think it would get limited or semi-limited?
Starlight Road? I mean, if they don't do
In that
anything to
format.
Dark Hole, they would have a few options. I mean,
Assuming they bring back Heavy.
Well, I think if they do anything to Starlight Road, it's going to be, like, let's say they do anything, which is a long shot. I think it's probably going to be to 2.
mhm.
Honestly, I think to balance it out, it would be put to 1, because
think so.
even
You
at
can't do
2,
People are only going to play 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, who plays 3 Starlight Roads?
People could play 3, sure.
People could.
As a tech,
You could, but
But-
it's like saying...
but it's not going to be. That's not going to be the format. It's going to be 2 Starlight Roads in every deck, a Dark Hole, a Mirror Force, a Torrential, and a Heavy Storm, and everyone's going to have those 6 cards as their staples.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be a problem.
That's why everything is affecting everything at this point. This Banlist is,
No.
making everybody think.
Because of the whole Starlight Road situation and just the way that the whole trap game changes, like, I personally don't want to see Heavy Storm come back. I'm probably the only one here that doesn't want it back, I think. So, I don't know. I just don't want that card to come back. I'm too keen on summoning Thunder King and setting 5 back rows, so I'm a little biased. And, I mean, I think it makes Starlight Road too powerful of a card, and that they probably won't touch. And that would be a problem format. I like to have traps on the field, not dead in my hand.